Hello everybody, this is Jeff Janess and welcome to our Lab 6 demonstration and our lecture on data types in ArcGIS Pro. In this lecture we're going to take a look at layer files and see how they are different from just purely loading the data by itself. In this lab exercise we're going to be looking at these three feature classes here, and then we're going to load up this layer file here which references the exact same data, but it loads it in with symbology. All right, so we'll first add the feature classes by themselves. They're in the class GIS data folder, in the Flagstaff roads folder, in data, and in this geodatabase. We'll just pop these into the map. And you'll see they draw very simply. Each of the three feature classes draws with just a single color polyline. All right, and that's just the default way that ArcGIS loads data. Now we're going to try this again, but we're going to load the layer files. We'll hit the Add Data button. The layer file is located one step up. Here it is. It's a file that ends in .lyrx. If you remember, a layer file is just a set of instructions on how to draw data and where to find it on the hard drive, and then these instructions are saved into a separate file. So we're just going to load that set of instructions up. We load it, it pops in. You see it brought in this layer called roads, which turns out to be a group layer that contains 8 other layers, each drawing roads. And each of them are intended to be drawn at a different scale. So for example, this one is intended to be drawn at 1 to 5 million to 750,000 scale. And you might notice that this is the only checkbox that is in its black checkbox. All these other checks are kind of grayed out, meaning that they're not being drawn. But if we change the scale a little bit, zip into Flagstaff, well, now we're sitting at 1 to 116,000, and look, it's this layer that has suddenly turned on, and so all these others are disabled. So we have different levels of symbology being drawn, different labels being drawn, depending on the scale we're at. So right here at this particular scale, we can't see all the city streets in Flagstaff, just the major roads. And that's good because getting all those streets would just be a big mess in there. But if we zoom in a little bit, we start wanting to see those city streets, right? And we even start to label them. So we have to zoom in before we get that level of detail. So that's what the layer file is doing. It's a set of instructions on how to draw it, and in this case it brings in different layers that are intended to be drawn at different scales. You can actually take a look at the rules. If we just open up the layer properties for the layer, we can see that the scale dependency values for this particular layer are such that it shouldn't be drawn if you're in beyond 1 to 5,000 and out beyond 1 to 15,000. So these are instructions written right into the layer itself.